Contact your next of kin and take a loading dose of antibiotics because you're being readmitted to Attaway General, the fictional hospital staffed by TikTok stars. You know, those kids you saw dancing in the hallway while you had your catheter inserted. Another day on the job as teen volunteers means there's more interpersonal drama coming between you and life-saving medical treatment. So get ready for them to talk about you like you're not in the room, abandon you mid-sentence, and then wake you up mid-surgery so you can take a video of them while they lip-sync to Dua Lipa. So tie on a hospital gown and be prepared to babysit some teenagers while they tell you that your goiter looks disgusting. Stay tuned for all the medical drama, mama, and another installment of Clip Breakdown. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is the playlist where we dive into our favorite movies, TV, and media on the internet, and we smash it with an axe so that it's in tiny, digestible pieces that we can more easily make fun of and comment on, you know. And today we're diving in for my third installment looking at Attaway General, Brat TV's online web series about the teen volunteers of a fictional hospital. Today we're covering episode 5 and 6 called I Lost My Marbles and Small Hospital, respectively. But before we get into all of the scalpeling and scissoring, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. It really lets me know that you want to see even more videos of this type. But also make sure you click that subscribe button right down here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so hit that notification bell and you'll always be the first to know when we've got an OR emergency, baby, and you gotta get down to code red, blue line 99 time. That's hospital speak. Or it's just someone riding the subway, I don't know. This episode starts with our teen volunteers giving us a glimpse at what they do best as TikTok stars. I think this was included as a little nod to what these kids do in real life.
Moving too fast.
Hey, cute dance kids. So I noticed a lot of your patients have bed sores. Do you mind changing some underwear today? Oh gosh, I don't know how to speak their language. Less dabbing and more dabbing ointment onto some wounded oldies, okay? The secret to dabbing, I think, is doing it fast, right? Like, ow, that nearly hurt me. I was excited to see the initial conflict that came through in the cold open for this because it was interesting, it was new for the show, and I'm here for it. I am getting a little tired of seeing child actors on this show. Like, get me someone who can read a line with some dignity.
We have a VIP coming into the hospital today.
One of you, fetch me an apple juice on ice.
This is Roman DuPont and his grandfather Lawrence, one of Attaway General's biggest donors.
It's his money that supplies all the juice that this hospital needs. That's why our thirsty for juice ratings are some of the lowest in the country.
What are you waiting for?
Get inside, Jones. Welcome, sir.
That kid said, yes, I will say my line, but then I will spend the rest of the scene looking straight into the camera, just chilling, so don't bother me at that point. Also, I feel like this was the first scene that the kids shot that day because it started out like he was gonna have a British accent that kind of matched the grandfather.
What are you waiting for?
But then he abandons it like basically the next line. They told little Johnny here, okay, so your character has a British accent, and he said, all right! And they said, never mind, just do whatever you say. Obviously, since Roman is such a VIP patient here, he gets tiered medical treatment. They always talk about how Attaway General is the best hospital in the world, but then they provide preferential treatment to patients with more money, so that's, I mean, okay. So all of the teen volunteers are falling over themselves to help Roman feel as happy as he can in this hospital.
You did well. I remember your loyalty. And you. What kept you? Your superior will hear about this.
Roman has quite the set of lungs, doesn't he?
Yeah, speaking of his organs, is there a reason he's in the hospital, or are we just euthanizing him? If you guys remember from previous episodes, Kit's love interest, Holden, is starting to get ready for pre-surgery because he's got a heart defect.
I have an update on Holden that I thought you should hear.
As someone who is just a friend of his and has no legal right to his medical info, I thought of you first. Shall we go have a cigarette next to this oxygen tank? Now we actually do get some insight into why Roman, the spoiled little boy, is here at Attaway General. It's a dumb reason, just so you know.
Grandpa asked me to clean up my marbles.
Darn kid. He leaves those things everywhere.
I swallowed my collection. The day I cleaned up after myself was the day I become a commoner.
You are a commoner, okay? Just because you're wearing a pair of pants from Macy's, it doesn't make you rich. I don't understand this little boy character. Like, he's giving me Richie Rich vibes, but it's just not playing as realistic to me. Like, aren't you sick? Aren't you in pain? You're sitting on this bed thinking you're better than all of us when you ate marbles. You're feral to me. You look like you grew up in the woods to me. You'll also remember at the end of the last episode, Georgia was speaking to her love interest. When I look at him, all I see is forehead. His whole face is a forehead to me. So at the end of the last episode, Will was coming on to Georgia and she was like, let's keep things strictly professional, because she heard that he was sort of a player. But it's the next day, she slept on it, she had some Wheaties for breakfast, and that sometimes makes things come about that you weren't realizing.
Look, so I did some thinking, and you know what? I'll be your girlfriend.
You were right.
About what?
Keep this relationship professional.
Growing up gay, I felt pretty excluded from the teenage dating scene, so a part of me really loves it when the straight girl doesn't get what she wants. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, Stephanie, you have no prom date because of a football injury? Meanwhile, I'm tap dancing on its grave, like, quarterback down. Watching Georgia get gooped by this, like, unexpected rejection, it did soothe a certain part of my soul. Sorry.
You're the one who wanted to be more than friends.
Maeve was right. I'm a jerk. Should stay away.
Georgia on her Instagram tonight. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time, by Maya Angelou. If I was Georgia, I'd be like, okay, bye. You're not the only faceless Caucasian dude in this hospital with hands that smell like iodine, okay? I'm gonna be fine. Like, seriously, she wasn't even sure if she wanted him yesterday, so I'd be like, ew, okay, garbage dick.
Roman's gonna be here as long as it takes for those marbles to come out. If you can get him to drink this stool softener, it'll expedite the process. Good luck. It won't be easy.
Why? Does the child not want to poop out the marbles? Like, what is his goal here? If he wants to be a human gumball machine for the rest of his life, let him. We have real patients who we need to treat. This bed could be used for someone who's actually sick. I don't see why he has to be in the hospital just so we can wait for him to have a bowel movement. Surely this could be done at home. I don't want this child taking up a hospital bed unless he's got so many marbles in him there's a Plinko machine blinking on his head. As we saw earlier, Kit has been asked to speak to Holden, who's having second thoughts about his life-saving heart surgery, because I guess you can just opt out of that.
It's a full-blown heart surgery with a 10% mortality rate. Wouldn't you be scared?
I wouldn't want to live the rest of my life with fear of heart failure.
Yeah, but at least I'd be alive. A 90% success rate isn't so comforting when it comes to your own life.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure we wouldn't do major heart surgery unless you were more likely to die without it. So what is the trade-off here? Kit's like, I don't know what to tell you, okay? You've got a hole in your heart big enough for me to put my fist through, and you're telling me that's fine. Also, the second time I met you, you passed out just drinking a soda, so I'm pretty sure you're not gonna survive long if you just walk out of this hospital. They act like all of a sudden he'll still be alive if he doesn't take the surgery. He'll just have to worry about randomly dying one day of heart failure. It's like, don't you have a hole in there? There should be blood currently gushing out into your chest. Why are you even outside? The supervisors at Attaway are like, Kit, we're gonna ask you one more time to stop taking our immunocompromised patients for a stroll through the flower garden. Next, we get our first ever scene of seeing the Attaway General kids in their outdoor picnic area, which is a new area of the hospital that we never got to see before. It's just a really relaxing place. Teen volunteers can eat their applesauce or drink from empty styrofoam cups, whatever they want. Kit is consoling Georgia for her rejection.
Look, I'm sorry about Will. I bet he's got a fear of intimacy because of a past relationship or abandonment issues.
Oh, okay, Kit's a psychologist again, everybody. Buckle up. She knows all about trust issues because she's ready to sell your medical chart on the black market or read it to a live studio audience. She's like, hemorrhoids, everyone. He's got them. Every word that comes out of Kit's mouth sounds like she's trying to remember her lines. I mean, everyone is like that. There's literally nobody in this show that doesn't seem like they're acting. But with Kit particularly, because they try to give her all of this medical jargon that's supposed to make her sound really smart, and instead it's like, you're reading Wikipedia. Meanwhile, inside, other teen volunteers are still trying to help Roman drink his stool softener. He's being really annoying by making the teen volunteers sing for him, making them fetch his, laundry. I don't know what they're doing. All I know is Jack is not having any of it because he's the cool guy. He's like, I'm not in the mood for this kid. Which I guess, again, like they're allowed to just not do things at this teen volunteer program whenever they want to. It's like, that's a patient.
Roman, would you take a sip if I promise to sing for you whenever you'd like in the future?
Any time, you say?
Anytime.
But before we get into all that, Roman, I want to go back and quickly count the amount of times you just looked right into the camera.
Any time, you say?
Anytime.
Roman said, let me be really present with everybody in this scene with me, including the camera operator, second camera assistant, gaffer, hair and makeup. Hi over there. Yeah, can we get Tyler's guardian to the set with his horse blinders? Thank you.
You know your breathing's too erratic, and you should move your eyes around behind closed lids. That's what happens during REM cycle.
Wow, Kit, did you get your medical degree from Bill Nye the Science Guy? You say the most basic stuff and you act like you're a genius. It's so annoying. You're also not even necessarily right. Like, there is such thing as non-REM sleep too, so he could be just in that. You know what, I'm done with you, Kit. Why don't you go downstairs to the morgue and lay down in one of those freezers until I'm ready for you. Somehow, Kit is acting like she has something to apologize for here, even though this kid's an idiot, acting like he doesn't want a life-saving surgery.
When you asked me why I cared earlier, it's because I care about you. Sorry for being selfish.
So selfish, the way she encouraged him to fix his heart defect. Like, if it's his heart's desire to be full of tiny holes like a pincushion, then Attaway General is here to support that. I'll be right by your side with a boba straw, ready to just go to town, baby.
That's not being selfish. That's being a friend. I care about you too. Kit, you don't have a girlfriend.
Oof, the ladies of Attaway General just getting blitzed this week, aren't they? The way that hand went on his face to pull him in, she was ready for it. She was like, I'm about to touch this sick boy's mouth with my mouth. Also, what is this about your girlfriend? I don't see her pushing you around in a wheelchair like you're her little Grandpa Joe. That's only me. Kit's the one who takes care of baby, okay? That was so rough to watch. But also, what's up, Holden? You totally leaned in for that kiss. Like, you made room for a lens flare and everything. I would have liked it even more if they let Kit and Holden kiss here, because so far they've only really shown Holden's girlfriend Bella to be equally as caring and affectionate as Kit would be. It would be more interesting if Bella, this girlfriend, was shown to be a little less attentive, or maybe like was kind of inconvenienced by his illness and was like, I can't believe we're missing prom for this. And he's like, well, I've got a heart that's full of holes. And she could be like, yeah, and they were gonna dedicate a whole song to us at the yearbook dance. That way it would have been interesting to see Holden kind of flip and kiss Kit right on the like eve of his surgery, because he's going through this big life-changing moment right now. It would make sense that he's reevaluating what it's like to be around people who care for him. But that's probably just a little more complex than we're able to get into on this show, so Kit just runs off. She's super embarrassed, as she should be, Kit. That was embarrassing. Check your lipstick. Because he drank the stool softener, Roman is finally passing those marbles, and I just realized what I'm saying on this day. Mr. DuPont, the hospital's donor, is saying a little bit more about why those marbles are so special.
I certainly don't want to lose those. They're heirlooms passed on to me by my grandfather.
I'm sure they're beautiful, Mr. DuPont.
Really? Because I'm sure they're coated in human feces, girl. Also, I went on eBay and looked up what antique marbles look like, and they are not beautiful, okay? They look like something straight out of Kit's secret biopsy jar. But hold on, because this episode is not wrapping up without a cliffhanger. Just as the DuPonts are leaving, something happens to old Grandpa Grumpo.
DuPont, help! We need help!
Having better. I think I'm having a touch of a heart attack.
Oh, don't panic too much, everyone. It's just a touch of a heart attack. That's probably why those doctors right outside the door are not responding to your cries for help. Seriously, there's like 4 people outside that door and they're all just like, oh, help that old man who's dying? Would love to, but I'm on lunch. Also, I'm sorry, Mr. DuPont, but at your age, there is no such thing as a touch of a heart attack, okay, honey? That touch you feel is the cold, bony hand of death clutching your chest. Even if you survive the heart attack itself, which you probably will since you're in the best place for it, we're still looking at a lengthy recovery time, and the longer you're in the hospital, the sicker you get. But don't worry, since you're such a great donor, you'll have all the cups of juice you could want. We love you and your damaged heart. So that's a cliffhanger, and I was excited to figure out what's gonna happen with Mr. DuPont in the next episode, but I guess it comes back up in episode 7, because episode 6 we don't see him at all. It seems like it kind of alternates, because we go back to that little girl who fell asleep with her eyes open a lot in this episode, but we also learn a little bit more about our boy Jack, the troublemaker, so stay tuned. Episode 6, Small Hospital, starts off with the admission of a new patient who has a shocking injury.
Oh my. What the heck happened?
What the?
You guys know each other?
He's the one that did this to me.
Ow! Jack!
Is Jack's favorite breakfast cereal paint chips? Why is he always acting so crazy, touching someone's arrow sticking out of their body? Come on, can you just be fired? However, I am intrigued about the idea of Jack being responsible for this injury, because he was late to work, they were just talking about it, so it's like, wait, what kind of trouble is he getting up to off the clock? I just wish that they didn't completely abandon this, like, right after the opening credits.
Wait, did you shoot him?
No, of course not.
Did he?
No, but he might as well have.
I don't have time for this.
Yeah, I feel you. However, I definitely do have time for this. It would have been so much more interesting if they let that like mystery drag on for a little bit. Like, did Jack hurt him? Did he not? What's the explanation? Was there an accident? But it's essentially 30 seconds later that the guy's like, well, no, he didn't do it, but you know, I'm still mad at him. So they kind of like undercut the mystery for me a little bit right off the bat. Like, I want to know if Jack's stabbing people with arrows. Spoiler alert, he's not. But we get into how these two know each other later on. My thing is like, don't introduce this idea that's actually more interesting than what your episode is about, because that's just gonna make us feel like left disappointed. I feel like sometimes people who are writing shows, they don't understand that they can write anything. Like, they already had an idea for how this kid was gonna fit into the episode, but they wanted to find some shocking way of making the beginning feel intriguing. So they said, oh, Jack did it. But that's not actually true, even though they could have made that true on some level and brought us a really fun story. They abandoned it. I'll tell you how in a second. Molly, the girl with some sort of brain tumor or something, I don't know. She's getting ready for her surgery, and the teen volunteers are all gathered around, spending all of their energy just focusing on making sure she's comfortable. Unless they don't like each other, then they'll run out of the room.
And then when you wake up, it'll be a little scary. You might not know where you are for a moment, but don't worry. I'll be there the whole time.
Looking down at you with my unflinching face, as though your sleep paralysis demon was the moon emoji.
Georgia, wait up.
Jeez, can you please take a hint and leave me alone?
You can't just not talk to me forever. Like you said, it's a small hospital.
Which is why you shouldn't scream in the hallways, young man. There are people resting post-surgery. And if you startle someone and their new kidney goes flying out the window, you're gonna have to go outside and fight the stray dogs for it. Also, I've never seen such an uncommitted hand cupping. He's like, why are you leaving? Why are you leaning? There's a closed door in front of you. There's no corner for you to be looking around, bro. The blocking doesn't make sense sometimes. It's very easy for this kind of thing to happen if no one's paying attention, because they're shooting this as a single camera setup, meaning they're shooting Dixie walking towards the door, and then they flip the lights, they flip the camera, and they reshoot Griffin talking. So that means they probably didn't have Dixie going out the door there, and he was just like yelling to behind a camera. It doesn't actually line up with what their eye line is or what they would be doing in real life, so it feels very theatrical. Don't forget, it's a small hospital. That's right, Will, say it with your whole body. Get the spine moving. In this episode, we also start hinting that there might be something wrong with Rosie. In a couple instances, she seems like, oh no, I'm fine, I just have a headache.
You okay? Yeah, I just have a little headache. Why don't you go lay down? Is sure? Positive.
In fact, why don't you just go home since you're a volunteer and we can do everything without you? We finally get some understanding about what brings Jack to Attaway General, which is something I was hoping for since episode 1 when he said he was there to not go to juvenile hall.
Jack have something to do with that arrow?
No, I have my little brother to thank for that. But because of Jack, I got in trouble and I'm stuck babysitting the little stinker all summer long.
Okay, but how well were you really babysitting him if he was able to shoot you with an arrow? That doesn't seem like Jack's fault. That kind of seems more like you're an idiot and you're finding a way to blame Jack. Again, this just feels so forced. Like, I feel like the screenwriters were giving themselves all these gymnastics to do to try to make those 2 points connect when they could have just rewritten the plot. Jack is always using his phone and taking TikToks and stuff. I thought it was gonna be something like, oh, Jack was shooting a video of him shooting arrows off the roof before work and he aimed the wrong way and he heard someone scream, so he ran off. I thought it was gonna be like one of those types things where he did something irresponsible and the guy like caught him later at the hospital. That would have actually been interesting, and then they could have made that something about how is Jack going to be disciplined. He's getting in even more trouble. Now it's his final strike before he gets kicked out of the program and has to go to jail. All of that would be interesting, like realistic texture that we could add to this show, but they're not giving it to us. Instead, they give us some fake blood that looks like grape jelly and some little girls who can't close their eyes. Also, little boys who suck. Just children everywhere. I don't know if this is like a pediatric hospital, but every day it seems like the Playtime Jamboree down the street had a gas leak with the amount of kids in here.
You mean he never told you why he got community service?
I'd rather not get into it.
A few months ago, Jack convinced me that he knew how to drive, and spoiler alert, he couldn't. He ended up crashing my dad's car into a telephone pole.
To be honest, I don't really remember.
You don't?
Yeah, that's convenient.
Again, I feel like you're the stupid one for letting Jack drive your dad's car. Like, you're supposed to be best friends and you didn't know whether he could drive or not. Like, you should have known he has only stupid ideas. So you deserve to be grounded. Also, I will note that this kid here is actually given some real acting. They must have hired like a genuine actor for this role, because look at what he's doing compared to Jack. Jack cannot bring a facial expression to the surface of his body for anything. He's like, I'd rather not talk about it. Why are you always acting like it's 7 a.m. and you don't want to be in homeroom? All you have to do in life is show up and make this stupid TV show, and you can't even like act like you want to be there. You seem embarrassed to be on screen. And that's why I'm embarrassed to watch you, Jack.
Congratulations on your new baby.
For your information, I'd have fight a mother and a newborn for these.
And I bet even their bloodied corpses could deliver that joke with more charisma. Also, why in this show do they make Nina the queen of reaction shots? She's a supervisor, and every time something happens, they give her this opportunity to like react to it in a way that's supposed to be funny. This is like the third time we've seen her shrug to herself as a way to end the scene. She's like, hey, I'm just happy to be working at a place where I can steal syringes without getting caught. Will chases Georgia into the shed, which is the supply closet where I guess all of them finger each other.
I just want to say it's different with you. I want you to be my girlfriend.
Rosie, just pretend you never saw me. I gotta think about it. I need to make sure you're worth the risk.
Great, so we're exactly where we were at the beginning of the episode, aren't we? Now she's gonna take another day to think about it. Is this what being a teenager was like? I can't do it. I can't do it. I had a hard enough time being a teenager with MySpace and LiveJournal. If I were these kids, I would be updating my Facebook relationship status every 2 minutes. I wouldn't get anything else done. This relationship is so will they, won't they, that they literally can't think of any other cycle for them to be in. I want you and you don't want me. You want me, but I'm not sure. Let's keep doing this again. I can't act, la la la. That's the puppet show of Attaway General. Coming soon to Brat TV. Jack and his friend, whose name doesn't exist as far as I care, they finally make up.
Pick this out of a bite hazard bin. I know I messed up, but you're still my best friend. You were the first one to check up on me when I got my appendix taken out.
I feel like that says more about how bad your parents are than how good your friends are. He's like, you can tell we're best friends because from behind our hair looks exactly the same.
So, do you know yet?
No.
Don't trust him, Georgia. He just tried to suck your brain out with his mosquito mouth. That was crazy. Also, we see in the background that Georgia's dad catches this little kiss on the head, and it was not fun. It was so weird to watch his lips form a full-on suction cup tube like that. I know, Griffin, you don't kiss like that in real life, okay? Show me how you really kiss a girl's temple. It's probably like this. But yeah, the dad sees it, and that's a problem. Like, maybe don't be making out with my daughter in the hallways of my job. That's cool. Nina's a little worried about Jack, specifically because he said he didn't even remember crashing that car, and that caught my attention too. I'm like, so were you drinking? Were you on drugs? Why wouldn't you remember that? Did you hit your head? Maybe Jack hit his head, and that's why he's acting stupid all the time. Kit is giving a little bit of advice to Jack here.
Are you okay? I can't help but feel like there's a pattern forming here. The filing fiasco, thinking you can drive and barely remembering it, talking to someone might help.
You mean like a shrink?
A psychiatrist? Mental health is just important.
Would you stop with your little Miss Doctor impression? We're all sick of it.
Well, I would probably say it with more energy. I completely agree with Jack's message here. We are sick of you, Kit. Go home. I hate it when in TV or movies someone says a line and you can clearly tell they're expecting to be interrupted.
Mental health is just important.
Would you stop?
She's like, mental health is as important as, now it's your turn. Find a way to keep talking until someone cuts you off. You'd be like, mental health is just as important as your physical health. A lot of people don't understand, and that way Jack can just cut you off anytime, and it sounds realistic. After Jack storms out, Kit sees a letter that's meant for her favorite crush, Holden. I'm so sorry, Kit. What does Bella have that you don't? I mean, maybe she's not annoying and her manicure isn't grown out, but other than that, you seem the same. But Kit is learning to move on and she's being professional. She delivers the flowers anyway.
We're still friends, right?
Of course. Busboy.
This kid has been wearing a regular tank top under his hospital gown all day. Can he wear his regular clothes or not? Also, why does his hospital room have a picture of the food pyramid on the door, as well as a child's play toy? Like, they're treating him like he's a baby, but his parents are nowhere to be found. At the end of the episode, Dr. lets Will know that he knows what he knows, okay?
You're at the top of the list for the scholarship next year.
Thank you.
Oh, but Will, I think it'd be best if you stayed away from Georgia. I wouldn't want anything to get in the way of our work together.
Understood.
See you tomorrow.
Will, I need you to stop seeing my daughter because I'm supposed to be your little girl. What do you guys think of Attaway General, episode 5 and 6? We only have 2 more episodes to cover. That means 1 more installment of this series before hopefully an Attaway General season 2 comes out, but I don't think that's possible since all those kids have aged 2 years, like they would be 20 by now. But let me know how you feel about this week's mess of malpractice. Also, what video should I cover next on my channel? Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more clip breakdown just like this. There's a playlist in the box below as well, but most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right down here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so turn on notifications and you'll always be the first to get stabbed by the sutures of life. Also, you can check out my merch on the links below. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you so much for getting infected in the hospital with me today. I will see you next time.